All right. Let's dive into this research you've given me.
Yeah.
It's a real mix of finance and tech companies, giants we all know, and some that maybe are a little newer. We've
Yeah.
got company overviews and some recent developments. It's like we're getting a sneak peek of what's happening behind the scenes right on Wall Street.
hmm
Our mission today is to try to help you see the big picture, what's driving these companies, and maybe we can spark some ideas for your own, financial journey.
Yeah. What I find fascinating is just the sheer diversity of the companies we're going to talk about today. We've got companies that are just absolutely enormous, and they're adapting to these new realities. And then you've got these disruptors who are really trying to just shake things up. It really gives us a great view of what's happening in the market today.
Okay, let's kick things off with the financial sector. And we have a real classic tale of two very different approaches here. Bank of America, BAC, as the pros call it.
Right?
This is about as established as it gets.
Absolutely. Bank of America is a global powerhouse offering a full spectrum of financial services. What's interesting for investors right now is how they're benefiting from the rising interest rate environment.
Okay.
Higher rates translate directly into more revenue from their lending activities.
So for folks that hold BAC stock, this could be a good thing.
It could be a positive movement in their portfolios, absolutely.
But I imagine even a giant like Bank of America has its challenges, right?
Yeah, you're right. Regulatory scrutiny is a constant for large institutions. And then there's always the inherent risk of loan defaults, especially, if we hit an economic downturn.
Right, it's a balancing act.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Balancing act between maximizing profits and managing risk.
Okay. Then we have Robinhood, a company that's taken a very different approach, trying to make investing accessible to everyone, regardless of their experience level.
Precisely. Robinhood's mobile-first platform and commission-free trading have been a real game changer, attracting a huge user base, especially among younger investors. They may have felt excluded by the traditional brokerage models.
But they've also had their share of controversy, haven't they? Specifically that payment for order flow model.
Yeah.
Some say it creates a conflict of interest.
hmm
Do you think that that's a sustainable strategy for them, long term?
That's the million-dollar question. They've attracted millions of users, but also faced a lot of regulatory scrutiny.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they navigate this evolving regulatory landscape while continuing to innovate and expand their offerings. This is a company to watch for sure, especially if you're interested in the future of fintech.
From Wall Street to, Main Street, we've got two retail giants in the mix.
Yeah.
Walmart and GameStop.
Yeah.
Talk about two companies at different points in their journeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's really fascinating here is how both companies are grappling with this digital shift, each in their own way. Walmart is leveraging its enormous scale and physical footprint to create a really seamless experience.
Yeah.
Blending online and offline shopping, they're not just adapting, they're trying to shape the future of retail.
They're already a one-stop shop for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're adding things like healthcare clinics and financial products to that. Do you think they're spreading themselves too thin? Or is this a brilliant play to become just this ultimate consumer ecosystem?
It's a bold strategy.
Yeah.
They're betting on their existing customer base and their logistical prowess.
Right.
The question is whether they can really excel in so many diverse areas. GameStop, on the other hand, they're going through a much more radical transformation.
Right.
They're moving away from physical stores and diving headfirst into a digital-centric strategy.
So they're not just selling video games anymore. They're trying to become a player in the metaverse.
That's right, with ventures into things like NFTs and blockchain gaming.
Which is a pretty risky move, don't you think?
It's definitely a high-risk, high-reward play. They need to flawlessly execute this new vision and regain investor confidence.
Okay. If you're thinking about investing in GameStop, this is a crucial point, right? It's a bet on a dramatic turnaround,
Absolutely.
not a slow and steady climb.
Right.
From a potential comeback story to an actual one, let's talk about AMC Entertainment.
Okay.
They've had a roller coaster ride through the pandemic.
COVID-19 closures devastated the movie theater industry, but AMC has been really aggressively tackling their debt and trying to bring those audiences back to the big screen. They're even experimenting with alternative content like esports, streaming partnerships, just to, broaden their revenue streams.
They're not just waiting for things to go back to normal. They're actually trying to reinvent the movie-going experience.
Yeah.
Do you think they can pull it off? I mean, a lot of people think streaming is the future of entertainment.
It's a valid question. It all comes down to whether they can successfully adapt to the evolving landscape and find a new place for themselves.
Mm.
In a world where entertainment options are more diverse than ever, it's a story of resilience and reinvention that investors should be watching closely.
Now, let's move into the world of cryptocurrency. It's been making headlines, it's volatile, and it has the potential to disrupt traditional finance. We've got two Bitcoin mining companies in the mix, Marathon Digital Holdings and Riot Platforms.
What's important to grasp here is that these companies aren't just riding the crypto wave. They're placing a big bet on the continued growth and widespread adoption of Bitcoin specifically.
Okay.
They're pouring resources into mining infrastructure, to secure their piece of the Bitcoin network.
Which is energy intensive, right?
Yeah.
And it comes with its own environmental considerations.
Absolutely.
With Bitcoin's notorious price swings, isn't that a pretty risky business model?
Yeah.
I mean, what happens to these companies if Bitcoin crashes?
There's definitely inherent risk. Their profitability is directly tied to Bitcoin's price, which can be a wild ride.
Yeah.
And then you also have the regulatory landscape, which is constantly evolving and could impact their operations.
Speaking of risky business, let's talk about Rivian Automotive. They've been making waves with their electric trucks and SUVs, going head-to-head with some major players.
Yeah, Rivian is definitely one to watch in the EV space. They've got innovative products, and they've got a major partnership with Amazon for electric delivery vans.
Wow.
However, they face the same hurdles as any EV startup.
Yeah.
Scaling production, managing costs, and competing with established automakers who are also investing heavily in electric vehicles.
This is not just about having a cool product.
Yeah.
It's about navigating a complex and rapidly evolving industry.
Yeah.
Speaking of complex industries, we can't ignore the tech giants, Microsoft and Amazon.
Right.
They seem to have their hands in just about everything these days.
It's hard to keep up. Microsoft is a leader in cloud computing, software, and gaming, and they're constantly investing in cutting-edge technologies like AI. Amazon, of course, dominates e-commerce and cloud services, but they're also branching out into things like healthcare and entertainment.
It seems like the only limit to their growth is their own imagination, and even that seems pretty boundless. But even giants face competition. Let's talk about Advanced Micro Devices, AMD.
Right.
They've been giving Intel and NVIDIA a run for their money in the semiconductor market.
AMD has been strategically positioning themselves for growth through acquisitions, like Xilinx, which really bolsters their offerings. Their future really depends on demand from these key markets, PCs, gaming, and data centers, as well as their ability to navigate global supply chain challenges.
Which have been a headache.
Absolutely, a headache for the entire tech industry.
And while we're on the topic of navigating challenges, Coinbase has been at the forefront of the cryptocurrency exchange world, riding the wave of, mainstream crypto adoption.
Coinbase offers a platform for buying, selling, and storing cryptocurrencies, making it easy for everyday people to get involved in this emerging asset class. They're trying to diversify beyond trading fees and are working hard to stay ahead of that, ever-changing regulatory environment.
Yeah.
For investors interested in the crypto space, Coinbase is a key player.
Last but not least, we have SoundHound AI.
All right.
A company trying to carve out its space in the fiercely competitive world of voice-activated technology, which is only getting more important.
Absolutely.
With the rise of smart homes and smart assistants and the Internet of Things.
SoundHound's voice AI technology is being used in a wide range of applications, from cars to smart devices.
Yeah.
And they're going up against some of the biggest names in tech, like Google and Amazon. But they're finding their own unique applications and partnerships. If you're interested in the future of human-computer interaction, which is, rapidly evolving with AI advancements, it's a company to watch.
It is.
It's really fascinating to see these companies, banks, retailers, tech giants, even a movie theater chain, all grappling with these same forces. Digital transformation, the rise of new technologies, the need to adapt. It's like they're all playing this giant game of chess, trying to anticipate that next move.
And it highlights how interconnected our world is becoming, right? These trends aren't confined to just one sector. They're, rippling across the entire global economy. Speaking of interconnectedness, let's talk about the impact of the pandemic. It feels like we're still seeing the effects on companies like AMC, American Airlines.
Absolutely. The pandemic was a seismic event. It accelerated existing trends like, the shift to online shopping and remote work.
Yeah,
Companies like AMC were really forced to rethink their whole business model, find new ways to engage with customers.
right.
It also really highlighted the importance of resilience and flexibility for industries like airlines, which were hit particularly hard.
Yeah, it's like the pandemic was a stress test for the global economy, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Revealing both strengths and weaknesses.
Hmm.
But looking ahead, what does all of this mean for investors? What are the key takeaways from, our deep dive today?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that understanding the companies themselves is only half the battle. You also need to grasp the broader trends shaping those industries, whether it's the rise of cryptocurrency, the growth of e-commerce, the increasing influence of AI. These macro forces can have a huge impact on a company's success or failure.
So it's not just about picking individual stocks, it's about understanding the big picture
That's right.
and where the world is going, being able to connect the dots, see the forest for the trees. Speaking of connecting the dots, we talked about a lot of individual companies today, but what are some of the overarching themes or patterns that have emerged from our discussion?
I think one clear theme is the absolute necessity of innovation. Companies that can develop new products and services, embrace emerging technologies, adapt to the changing consumer behavior, those are the companies that are going to thrive in this environment.
It's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it really is. The ones clinging to the old ways of doing things are going to get left behind.
And technology really seems to be at the heart of this transformation, right?
Mhm.
Especially in sectors like finance and retail and entertainment.
Technology is a double-edged sword, though.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a powerful engine for both growth and disruption, but it also creates new challenges and uncertainties. For example, the rise of fintech companies like Robinhood is putting pressure on these traditional institutions to adapt.
Right.
And the explosive growth of streaming services has forced companies like AMC to find new ways to stay relevant.
So technology is both a catalyst for change, but it's also a challenge that companies need to overcome.
That's right.
Speaking of challenges, we can't forget about the role of regulation,
Right.
especially when it comes to, these emerging technologies like cryptocurrency.
Regulation is crucial.
Mhm.
It creates a level playing field, helps protect consumers. But keeping pace with innovation is a constant struggle for regulators. We see this playing out in the crypto space, with governments around the world trying to figure out how to balance fostering innovation while mitigating risks.
It's a delicate balancing act. Too much regulation could stifle innovation, but too little could lead to chaos and instability.
Absolutely.
It's a dynamic we're seeing across, multiple industries. As new technologies emerge, they disrupt these traditional business models.
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of diversification for investors. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spreading your investments across different sectors, different asset classes, that's how you manage risk and potentially maximize your returns.
That's great advice. It's easy to get caught up in the hype surrounding a particular company or industry, but a balanced portfolio is essential for, long-term success.
Absolutely. And remember, don't just rely on headlines or social media chatter. Do your research.
Yeah.
Dig deep into the companies that you're interested in and understand their business model, their competitive landscape, their long-term prospects.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
It really is, especially when it comes to making these informed investment decisions.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I feel like I have a much clearer picture of these companies, their strategies, and the forces that are shaping the market as a whole. It's like we zoomed out and we got this panoramic view of the whole landscape.
I think that's a great way to put it. Seeing those connections, understanding the bigger picture, that's what it's all about. It's not just about those individual companies.
Right.
It's understanding those systems that they operate within, the trends that are driving the change. And it's a good reminder that those trends can shift quickly, so staying informed, being adaptable, those are crucial things for investors.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question, something to chew on. If you had to pick just one of these companies to invest in right now, which would it be and why? Think carefully. This is a hypothetical billion-dollar decision.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one.
Sure.
That's like choosing a favorite child. There are so many intriguing possibilities, but I think I'd lean towards Microsoft. They're just such a dominant force in multiple high-growth markets like cloud computing, gaming, enterprise software, and they have a long history of innovation, profitability. They're not afraid to make these bold moves and adapt to change, which is essential in this fast-paced world. But keep in mind, this is just one perspective. The best choice for you, the investor, depends on your own risk tolerance, your investment goals, and your overall financial strategy.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to
Yeah.
investing.
Right.
What works for one person might be completely wrong for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to doing your research, understanding your own financial situation, and making informed decisions.
Exactly. And remember, the market is constantly evolving. What's hot today might be old news tomorrow, so staying informed, being adaptable, and never stop learning. The more you understand about the forces that are shaping the market, the better equipped you'll be to navigate those twists and turns and maybe achieve your financial goals.
So well said. This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. It's inspiring to see so much innovation happening across different industries
Mm-hmm.
and to witness how these companies are really shaping the world around us.
It's a testament to human ingenuity, our pursuit of progress, and who knows what the future holds. There are going to be countless groundbreaking companies and world-changing technologies yet to be discovered.
That's what makes it so exciting, right?
Absolutely.
The possibilities are endless. The only limit is our imagination. So, to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, keep investing in your future. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, there's always something new to discover, new opportunities to seize.
And remember, the best investment you can make is in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Continuously learn, grow, adapt, and you'll be well equipped to navigate the ever-changing landscape of business, the financial markets, life itself.
I love that. That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed the journey
Yeah.
and gained some valuable insights along the way. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving.